Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And so today I have a series of general readings looking towards the month of May, overall month of May for each of the zodiac signs. So for this video we're going to be talking about Pisces, which I am also a Pisces, so you are in good company. But before I really jump into it, I do want to quickly sort of talk about something that I don't know, I feel sort of compelled to talk about, and that is sort of a reminder that while the tarot are a fantastic tool to use, and I, of course, personally love them a ton, I feel like sometimes some people can forget that the tarot are not a set in stone prediction of the future. And so it's more of a, at least how I view it, it's more of a sort of message about what energies are around you, what energies are you using, what could be affecting you, things that you should look out for, just a really sort of honest look at yourself in certain situations and letting you know what is going on. And if it is a future prediction, it's like a prediction of where things could possibly go if maybe you continue on a certain path, or maybe if you decide to change something. So I think I've noticed some cases where it seems like some people sort of put too much I feel bad saying trust necessarily, but it's more like they forget to listen to their own intuition and also just basic kind of common sense with certain things. And then that can lead to, if something the tarot may have said doesn't fall necessarily in the way that you thought it was, or you were misunderstanding it or something, it could lead somebody to maybe blaming the tarot than necessarily evaluating their own sort of stock in that situation. So yeah, just kind of a reminder that the tarot is a tool. What energy you put into it is dependent on you and what you are seeking. So don't necessarily blame the messenger for certain things, okay? So that's just sort of my whole thought on that. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this reading. So this is a general reading, so go ahead and take what you will from it. And as I said, remember to use your own intuition and, take what you feel applies to you, and especially if it's something that you feel is going to help you on your path. So yes, let's go ahead and look at what the oracle cards we have here. So we have Contemplation. We have Letting Go. We have Answer the Call. What is your soul calling you to do? We have two of these. So we have Green Tara, Supreme Protection, and then Kuthumi, Cloak of Wisdom. So let's go ahead and set those there. And then finally, the energy oracle we have is the fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael, and this is in reverse. So overall, I feel like for Pisces, the month of May is definitely going to be about letting go of certain situations, working on the heart chakra, and then also really listening to your inner voice and what is going on sort of internally, and trusting your inner voice a little bit more. So getting into this with Contemplation, what Contemplation has to say is so it's about enjoying your own company. This is a wonderful time for you to recognize and consider the things you enjoy most in your life. Make a point of spending a little time allowing your mind to wander away from the everyday concerns that occupy your time. Give yourself an opportunity to be inspired. Ruminate on your inner voice and listen to your own counsel, which is really what all three of these cards, which I happen to just put there, are talking about. With this one, it says, you already know the answer you seek. Trust what you know. So this is all about trusting your inner wisdom, your experience, and just going for what it is that you feel in your gut. And similarly, the answer to the call is saying pretty much the same exact thing, in that, you know, what is your soul calling to do? Your guidance is divinely guided. You're being called to answer the call of your soul. It might be scary, it might not make sense, but if you trust your soul's yearnings, you will live a life beyond what your mind could possibly imagine. Answering your soul's calling is not a one-time thing, rather a lifelong dance. Deep down, you already know what you long for, what your soul yearns for. Similarly to what we have here, you know, whether you think you are called, whatever you are called to do, that is your calling. Don't overthink it. Don't wait for permission. Just say yes. So, and that, you know, you don't need permission to anybody. You just need to follow your own sort of soul calling about what is right for you. And again, this is emphasized here with Kuthumi, who is saying, you know, knowledge is learned, wisdom is remembered. You're in a cloak of wisdom now. Like Kuthumi, you have been on a wandering path trying to find answers through study, the insights of others, but now you're uncovering the truth of your own soul. Your soul is leading the way and you are being encouraged to follow. The fog is clearing, the light has come, and it's shining on you. Your soul is saying yes. Your soul is saying yes. It's your cheerleader. Follow it and trust the endless wisdom within you. Go, go, go. So yes, definitely that is a huge message already just from the oracles, that really for Pisces, it's this month going in, it's all about really listening internally. And that is why, you know, what these cards up here have to say are so important to really, I think, achieve and, you know, be on that path. So with Green Tara, what she says is, you are protected, cords are being cut, move beyond limitation and trust. Again, this is, you know, reminding you that you are protected, that you are safe, and that, again, I think echoing that trusting in both yourself and sort of your guides, in the higher forces around you and the universe, that it will lead you where you need to go. And with the Oracle of the Angels, with 42, letting go, is reminding us that, you know, let go. The stress you're feeling is a result of your struggle and resistance. Instead of fighting against the current, allow the river of life to carry you to your destiny. Everything happens for a reason. Trust that you are in safe hands and always on the right track. So, I trust in the universe, the wisdom of the universe. I go with the flow. So again, I think May will be a really important month to sort of let go of any past hurts, any sort of self-imposed fears, anxieties about things, and just remember to sort of like take a moment, you know, take a moment and breathe and contemplate and really, you know, meditate and try to find your own soul calling, like listen to your soul. Again, similar here, we sort of have this figure sitting and sort of looking over this landscape with water, the mountains, the sky, clouds, and really just sort of listening to both what nature and sort of the inner self. Which leads us to sort of, I guess you could say, the homework for May, based off the oracle, with the fourth chakra, which of course is the heart chakra, with the Archangel Raphael reverse. So what this specific card is letting us know is, so yes, this card is, of course, love, compassion, and acceptance, but in its reverse state right now, it's saying that this card reverse indicates some blocks in the flow of your heart center energy. Perhaps it's an old sense of abandonment or grief or of a broken heart lingering from a long past event. Whether it's recent or not, this blocked energy stops you from caring for yourself and attracting love from others. It can create an undercurrent of unhappiness that permeates your life. It's time to heal the old, stuck stuff and move on. Don't bypass the pain and pretend it doesn't exist. Instead, ventilate it into your journal and release it with an intention to be clear, happy, and self-loving. Meditate on the increasing light in your heart center and call on Raphael to help bring healing and clarity there. Love yourself and give yourself the approval you used to need from others. The healing will take place and happiness will return. So the affirmation is, my heart center, my fourth chakra, is open, it's perfect, healthy, and joyful state. The energy of love flows through me now. I live in love. So again, sort of echoing what this card was saying about letting go of whatever sort of past trauma may be there, or even current trauma. So I would say, looking at May, look at it with sort of a fresh state, and sort of taking time and stepping back from any sort of high stress situations or relationships, and really taking a moment to contemplate on where you are right now, and asking yourself what it is exactly you want. What is your soul calling you to do? So yes, that's what I feel is the messages here from the oracles. So now let's go ahead and take a peek at what the tarot have to say, specifically sort of delving more in depth to what is possibly what is coming up for us in May. All right, so I have shuffled my deck. So let's go ahead and we'll do a little bit more. So what is the overall energy for Pisces during the month of May? So let's see what comes out here. Oh, here we go. So we got the Seven of Swords reversed for the overall energy. Now let's go ahead and see what is in store for week 1, looking at sort of what is the situation for that specific week, for week 1 in the month of May for Pisces. What is the overall situation for the first week of, oh boy, we got a couple cards coming out here. So we have the Six of Wands reversed, we have the Hangman, and we have the Hermit. This is already sort of reflecting what we talked about with the Oracle cards, I feel. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into these specific cards. So with the Seven of Swords reversed, sort of speaking on the overall situation or like energy happening during the month of May, this is really talking about either you or someone in your group sort of coming out and revealing, you know, a deception or a lie. You know, this is issues of like trust, you know, plans maybe not working out so well. And while I'm sure this, for like talking about the overall energy of the month, is not very good, in a way this is a good thing, because of the fact that it's revealing. It's talking about these sort of, you know, the deceptions, you know, lies, they're coming out either, you know, internally from yourself, what maybe lies you've been telling yourself, or from somebody else around you. It's this coming out for the month of May, I think, is a good thing, because again, it's going back to what the Oracle cards are saying about this, you know, letting go of the old and finding better truths, and, you know, your inner truth, and then also working on that heart chakra and really talking about, so maybe this isn't really, this could not be referring to an actual situation or something that's going to happen in May, but maybe this is more of talking about you inner reflecting on things that happened in the past, which I think is definitely, you know, the case when you have, for looking at the first week in May, this is going to be a pretty serious and an important week already, because we have two of the cards here that came out were, of course, the major arcana, which mark sort of important life moments. So with the Six of Wands reversed, so this is talking about, you know, normally with the six upright, it's about a victory, you know, feeling really good, accomplishing, you know, being recognized for your abilities. So in the reverse, it's kind of talking about you, maybe you're feeling pretty down about yourself, and you're doubting your abilities, or that you can achieve maybe necessarily the success that you want. And so that's, I feel like that's maybe how some of you might be coming into that first week of May. This is sort of the situation, your past situation of how you've been feeling, especially since we got 3 cards that came out. And during that first week of May, a big part of what you're going to be working on is the Hangman of both the Hermit, which again is sort of going back to what the oracles were saying, in that, the Hangman is about, you've done a thing, you've put in some effort, you've done something, and now you just you have to sit there and you have to wait. You have to just let whatever's going to happen. And, again, this has a lot to do with trusting yourself. And also, because this is also the Hangman, this is a water element card to begin with. So this is very much related to us in the Pisces kind of mindset, in that, also it's kind of like the martyr complex, sacrificing yourself for a bigger cause, and, contemplating and meditating on starting to meditate on your sort of soul, your mind, your body. And this is also echoed with the Hermit about talking, stepping away from certain social situations, and because you're not finding the answers you need from the other people around you, or whatever sources, which again, that came up in the oracle cards. So this is about going internally and trusting your body, your mind, your soul, that inner intuition to find the answers that you need. Again, definitely so much of that is echoed here. So let's go ahead and see, since that is the first week, let's go ahead and see how things change or develop going into the second week of May. Oh, we got a jump. So let's see what we have here. And we have, again, so far we've had a lot of wand energy, so fire, so passion, spirituality. And so we have what is this? The 9 of Wands reversed. So let's see what this one is. All right, so with the 9 of Wands reversed, this is sort of, especially, so going into the second week, again, I feel like this is going to bring up this sort of inner work that for Pisces going into May should be doing and working on, is going to bring up, those things from the past. And this is part of it. And this especially, I feel, not so much outside forces as the internal. So with this reverse, this is talking about maybe not being a risk taker enough, but don't sort of switch gears and become too crazy with taking risks, too, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically take risks, but don't be extreme with it. So that, it's also talking about, being mistrustful of, yourself, of others. Again, that mistrust and the emphasis on trusting yourself and trusting your inner voice. So this could also refer to a situation where maybe there will be a challenge during the second week of May, and you'll feel like you don't have the resources or the abilities to really stand up to that situation. This is a lot of personal fear happening here with this reverse. So you're pulling, as you're going through your work, you're working in your heart chakra, this is going to come up, and that you're going to have to face those personal fears and realize that a lot of the issues and stuff that are happening here are all self-created. And so to sort of clarify this even more, I pulled a clarifying card on this situation. Of course, we got the Wheel of Fortune reversed. And so the Wheel of Fortune is really talking about, what are, clinging to an old cycle or an old way, an old habit of doing something. So with these two cards together, I would say it's definitely clinging on to that self-created, those personal fears that are not really they're not in the realm where you are now. You're beyond that. It's not, again, it's not actually physically present. It's something that you've created internally. And this definitely, it needs to change, and it's going to change, because even though, you know, the Wheel of Fortune reversed is, you know, it's talking about clinging too much to an idea of control, or being, you know, feeling out of control, as well as, well, some idea of maybe having bad luck. But the thing is, with the Wheel of Fortune, it is the wheel, so it's a cycle, and it's going to come out. You're going to come out of feeling like this during the second week of May. You know, this is only for a short time, and especially with all the other cards that have come up so far, it's that wheel of the internal work, I feel like. Especially when it comes to us Pisces, it's like I definitely feel like we have a tendency to internalize a lot of stuff that happens to us. So that's why I think for May, it seems like this is going to be the time to really work on whatever has happened, whatever baggage is still being held on to, and releasing it. Again, let it go. Trust in what you feel inside, you know, truly at your core. So let's go ahead and check out what the third week of May is going to look like. So what is the situation for Pisces during the third week of May? What do we got here? Okay, oh boy, we got the King of Wands reverse. Again, so much wand energy going on. We got the Knight of Swords, we have the Ace of Cups reverse, and then we have the Four of Pentacles. So what is going on here? All right, so unlike with the previous 2 weeks that we've looked at overall, where we had a lot of major arcana sort of come up, which again, the major arcana is really reflecting our own sort of inner journeys as the Fool. So, but moving into the third week of May, it seems like here, we're going to be returning back to dealing with other people. And this is going to be definitely a little bit of a challenge, because again, you're going to be doing all this internal work. And again, we've had a lot of the fire energy, so this is all about will, passion, the spiritual side of things, you know, that kind of drive. And, you know, also it can be referring to career and such like that. So there's been a lot of internal work on that. And again, our overall thing here was with the sword, so that has to do with the intellect. And so here with this situation, we definitely have 2 cards that can represent other people. So starting off with the Knight of Wands reversed, and then we also have the Ace of Cups. So I feel like maybe these 2 cards are going to be referring to the same situation, or maybe this person is going to be involved with what is going on here. But the King of Wands is really talking about a person, you know, or maybe a situation. So on a situation side, it could be like a lack of attention to emotional, you know, things happening. So especially with the Ace of Cups, that could apply to those, for those of you who fear are in that sort of situation. But as far as looking at an actual person, this is somebody who is definitely represents some of the harsher qualities of the fire element. So this could be a fire sign person, so a Leo, a Sagittarius, an Aries. And, you know, this is somebody who's kind of arrogant. They could be pushy, kind of domineering, or kind of or overbearing in a lot of situations. And so because of that could be how they be interacting with you during this week. And while on some levels it may not be coming from a place of like malice, of necessarily wanting to hurt you, it's still gonna nonetheless sting. You know, selfishness, ruthlessness, kind of those are the things that we're dealing with when we have the King of Wands reversed. And then we have also the Ace of Cups reverse in this week. So this is talking about an emotional instability, you know, some sort of loss. So this could be maybe referring to some situation, maybe for some of you who are maybe in some sort of relationship, or maybe this could be referring to a person in a friendship, maybe a work relation, this could be a sticky kind of situation during the third week. Also with the Ace of Cups, or, the Ace of Cups could be referring to maybe during the third week of May, because again, you're doing all this internal work. So of course, a situation could arise where something that you used to be very, very passionate about, again, especially with keeping in mind how much wand and fire energy we've had, this is the emotional aspect. So this is like I don't know why I'm thinking like soft, tender bits kind of issue here, but maybe something that brought you a lot of joy in the past, whether that's a relationship, maybe a hobby, it could be anything. You'll realize that it really isn't bringing you as much joy anymore. Maybe it's something that you've been kind of forcing yourself to do because maybe you'll feel you have maybe some guilt, the idea of maybe stopping and doing that. Maybe you're, which one was it? Maybe you feel like you're giving up on some ability that you had. But, you need to come to realize that maybe that's no longer, because again, we all, much like, with the Wheel of Fortune, we continually go through all these different cycles, and so we're going to end up growing out of things. Our tastes are going to change. So it's important, I think, to recognize whatever this is here, and then again, going back to that one card, just let it go, let it be, and honor that that was a big part of maybe your life for a long while, and it served its purpose. You've learned your lesson from that. You've had that drive with that thing. So, and now it's time to let it go and then welcome in something new, that's something better, that is going to further you on your journey. Now, also for us on the creative side of things, the Ace of Cups reverse can also refer to a creative block. So during the third week of May, it just made me think of, because May on the art side of things, Mermaid, that challenge is happening. And so maybe this, for some of us, this could be a week where inspiration is going to be pretty low. You're going to be pretty exhausted maybe. So I would say in that respect, from my own experience, it's important just to, recognize that, take a break, take a breather, and maybe, let it sit for a while. Go outside, go relax in nature, take a break, and then, slowly refill that cup. And that's also a big question, and that goes back to sort of maybe what this relationship is the question of who or what is in control of the cup right now for you. And then also what can you do to fix that situation? And maybe that's where this card steps in. Again, this could be referring to yourself, or more times than not, I think a lot of times we interpret this as sort of another person. And so with the Knight of Swords, this is somebody who doesn't really, and again with the Knight of Swords, so this could be an air sign person, so an Aquarius, a Libra, or I'm forgetting, oh no, what is the other air sign? Oh, this is gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, it's an air sign, so I'm gonna remember it later and it's gonna drive me crazy. But this is somebody who doesn't, I'm just gonna say it, bullshits around. They cut through and get to the truth of the matter. They're very, action driven. They're very kind of fast. They, go straight into battle. And again, they're very logic. They believe in their truth. And, sort of the negative side, they may not necessarily recognize other people's truths. But either way, because this is upright, I feel like, we're discussing more of the positive aspects of this card. So this could be somebody who is going to help you maybe see the light of this situation. And then, so the other issue that might be going on. Again, this feels like a week where it's a lot of, since we have a lot of the minor arcana here, it's kind of like small, it's not necessarily like they're not important, but it's more the small daily matters of life that we're dealing with here, not so much the big internal stuff that we've been dealing with. So with the Four of Pentacles, this is usually referring to, somebody who is kind of, they've built a very good foundation for themselves. And this is also the first earth, material wealth card that we've gotten. So this is really talking about there's a good stable base, you're not hurting in the material area, but it could be, you know, sort of talking about this, an unnecessary like personal fear, that you might lose that, you know, because that's what this sort of character is doing. They're hoarding their riches. They don't want to be too charitable, or, you know, along those lines. So it's kind of a reminder to not worry. And again, it's more of a self-imposed sort of idea that you're going to be losing, you know, the hard things that you've earned and you worked very hard for and you built. And now you're sort of stuck in this situation of your own making. I think that's already come up in other cards. But you need to recognize that you're fine, like you're good. This could also refer to sort of the opposite, in that you need to watch out during this week of your spending. Maybe you're trying to save up for something and you need to be a little bit wiser about your budget, or just don't be too sort of stuck in fearing about your material ground, because it's there, it's fine, it's stable. But just don't be so stressing. Maybe, I mean, this could be a situation where these two cards are making you feel like this is not as stable, like your emotional situation is affecting how you're feeling about your material area. And again, I think the lesson here is to think about logic. Think about things logically, you know, recognize what you're feeling, what situations are happening, look at it from a logical place, and look for the truth in things, and especially look for the truth internally, like we've talked about. You know, trust in what your inner voice is saying. So now with that, let us go ahead and go into the final week of May. So for the final week of May for Pisces, we have the Empress, and we also have the King of Coins. Okay, so far, I will say that, and I'll admit, like, even for me, because again, I'm a Pisces myself, looking at some of these cards, it's like looking for May, it's a bit heavy, you know? It's like lots of internal work, you know, some sticky situations, probably a lot of, you know, it doesn't seem like the most positive thing, but I definitely feel like wow, like the last week of May, everything is going to come out perfectly fine, especially with the Empress, because this is talking about, you know, abundance, fertility, you know, births of new projects, you know, success of new projects and all of that good stuff. And along with the King of Coins, like that seems pretty good to me. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into these. So yes, I definitely feel like with the Empress here, this is, you know, definitely nurturing in loving, you know, the work that you're putting in, the projects that you want, whatever it is that you need to, and you want to grow. This is a really important time to put in that work. Again, I feel like, especially with all the other work that it seemed internal stuff that was happening, letting go, healing the heart chakra, this is sort of the lovely outcome, is sort of sitting in that place of power as the Empress, knowing your own, you know, what is the word I'm looking for? You know, personal power, like definitely personal. And then with the King of Coins, overall, I feel like if you want to go for something during the month of May, this is the week to sort of do it, especially for manifesting. Like if you're working on manifesting something, this is, I feel like, of course, be working on it, you know, throughout the week, but this is definitely like the big week where I feel like whatever it is that you have been trying to manifest or what you want to manifest, this is the really good time to see it come to fruition, or to, you know, really put in like 110% into it. Also, with the King of Coins, this is somebody who's very practical, grounded, earth signs. Again, we're thinking like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorns. You know, this is a good sign of abundance and wealth, material health, all that kind of stuff. Health, definitely, I think this is a good week for that as well. So again, with the King of Coins, this could be referring to a person around you during this week coming in, or again, this could be referencing to yourself. It just matters on your own individual situation. And again, with the Empress, this is a really nice, strong feminine energy. So this maybe could refer to somebody around in your life, a mother perhaps, financial security. And again, sort of the warning, slight warning here with the King of Coins is, you know, understanding the value of things and also understanding what your means are to things. So not necessarily going and spending necessarily too much out of your realm of like what you can afford. You know, this is somebody who is very generous, you know, very, again, practical, values the results, bottom lines, quality. You know, carefully assess your resources. You know, the resources that you are growing, that you have been growing, and invest them where they're best going to serve you going forward. I definitely feel like this is, you know, if you're starting off May and you're really working on the heart chakra here, I feel like this is the week where you're going to see a real turnaround with that. Like, it's going to turn into the positive. Definitely throughout most of this time, throughout most of this month, be calling on, I would say one of your main sort of guides here is definitely, angel-wise, is definitely Raphael, you know, Green Tara, Kuthumi. Be thinking about their messages and what they're trying to tell you, and especially internally what you hear from them in yourself, you know. So yeah, that is what overall for Pisces seems to be what the cards want to say about the month of May. It's definitely going to be an interesting one here. I'm very curious to see how it shapes up, even, you know, for myself here. So yes, again, think about all that internal work that you should be doing. You know, think in the positive, let go of any sort of old hurts, and contemplate what it is you really want, what things are no longer serving you. Like with the Ace of Cups reversed, you know, that mention of something that brought joy but no longer really does that anymore for you. Definitely think about that, and while you're doing all this internal work, like with the Hermit and the Hangman, consider my dog is barking now, what it is that those things that no longer serve you, what cords you need to cut, you know, what people in your life may not be bringing the right sort of positivity that you need now. And that doesn't mean that you need to, you know, sort of cut it too like harshly off, but maybe in some cases you should, especially if it's somebody like that King of Wands reversed. That's somebody I don't feel like is going to be very helpful for you in your journey here. So yes, thank you all so much for watching this video, and if you would like to subscribe, then please do, and also remember to leave a like and a comment on this video. And also, you know, if you want to come back to this video later on in the month and tell me, you know, how things exactly shaped up, like how much from this general reading, remember guys, general reading here, matched up to what actually happened for your, you know, that first week of May, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And of course, if you're interested in getting a personal reading from me, please do check out and look for an email link or DM me on my Instagram or such things like that. And yeah, check out all my other various links down below, and thank you all so much for watching. Have a beautiful May.